Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This year marks 10 years that we've lived in the south of France, in the Languedoc region of the south of France. It was 10 years ago in June that my husband Alistair and I moved from London to Béziers in this region without really knowing anyone or anything. We didn't move with a job. We moved as self-employed, and we moved, I guess, as kind of cheesy as it sounds, but with a dream, with a hope, and looking back, you know, naively and wonderfully so in a way, of this life in the south of France. 10 years later, 2 children later, a house move, job kind of changes, we're still here. And so I wanted to share with you today some of the ups and the downs, the pluses and the minuses, the good and the bad, and no, it's never been ugly, luckily, but the good and the bad of living somewhere that isn't your native country, of living in the south of France. Something that we talk about a lot. If it's a dream of yours, a daydream, and you go ahead and you do it and you realise it, you don't have that horrible kind of feeling, that in the stomach feeling of, oh, I wished I had tried, or I wished I'd followed that dream. There are lots of tricky years that come after you fulfilling that dream, but that element of it is a real kind of contented and calmness, and we appreciate that every day. We say, look, at least we've tried, at least we did it, with everything that it entails, but you never have that feeling of, oh, I wished I had. And so as just a couple and our characters, that means a lot to us, and that's something that's really good. Definitely something that doesn't get any easier, and in fact with the time of life it can really get harder, is being away from family and close friends. We left in our mid to late 20s, and so certainly a lot of really close friendships were already formed by then through the university years and living in London, and obviously our family that we both love dearly. And now obviously the ages we have siblings with children, we have nieces and nephews, we have our grandparents that are getting older, have gotten older, and so that's tricky. Something that was always our kind of, that we knew, was that we're within Europe. All our family is based within Europe, but mostly in the UK, and so we can travel back and forth relatively cheaply, relatively at the last minute if needs be, and so that lessens the blow somewhat. It certainly helps. It doesn't make it completely better. Certainly it's something to consider, because it is hard and it doesn't get any easier, and you don't know what the future will bring and how much of a pull that will have at different parts in your life. Flipping back now to a really positive side, where we are in the south of France, we just absolutely love this area of the south of France. We came to it not by complete accident, but a lot of what it offers, I wasn't aware. I can't pretend I was aware of it when we did our research 10 years ago. We did quite kind of simple research in a way 10 years ago, and now obviously living in the area and knowing the people, your kind of love for it grows. But this area of the south of France is so down to earth and so friendly and so welcoming. In terms of location, I'm an island girl, and so being so close to the sea is really important to me, and having our children grow up near to the sea, and then also the proximity to Spain and also to the mountain ranges, to the Pyrenees, in between France and Spain, and even just the regional parks. We've got the Languedoc, we've got the Montagne Noire, so the Black Mountains, and so it really is such a rich a rich area of the country to live in and to have your family in, and so that's a massive plus for us. Something that again doesn't really get much easier, even though we've been here 10 years, is just kind of understanding what's going on in life, and actually in a way that's very liberating in a way, because you can't worry too much when a lot of the time you're sort of like, what's going on now? What are the procedures? And of course, I'm talking about bureaucracy. That's tricky anyway. And then in your second language, and just not kind of knowing the lay of the land. But even just from kind of stuff I'm experiencing with the girls with schools, just anything where there's a difference, you know, it just takes your energy, and it takes be more time than it would do in your native country, because you just don't have any experience of it. And so I wouldn't say that's a negative. I would just say don't underestimate the energy and the time it takes, and knowing that you kind of have to let go of a control in a way, and you do have to go with the flow a little bit more. And so if that's hard for you to do as a person, that it might be tricky. So we have completely succumbed to the pace of life of the south of France after 10 years, and the way their sort of year is laid out. So kind of these big holidays in the summer holidays where a lot of things close down, and the children off school for 2 months, and the fact that it's very family focused, and so you don't necessarily have to be out doing big wonderful photograph worthy things. It's very kind of down to earth meals with the family, spending quality time together, a lot of outdoor time, and we just love this pace. I really appreciate how our year looks, kind of the changing of the seasons, and the emphasis that the people around us put on the food and the together time, and just enjoying the moments, and not always kind of rushing off and seeking the next thing. Something else that I've really appreciated about moving to France, and this is something that's a lot more family focused, and something that I feel quite passionate about, but I don't talk too much about on my channel. But I really feel like our children are left to be children here in France. I love how our children feel really childlike and really like children here in France. That's everything from what I've seen so far, how they're taught in schools, the exclusion of technology, or the minimalisation of technology in schools, how they have a bit more autonomy. So in our village, certainly children from probably 7, 8 are walking themselves up to school, taking themselves to after school activities if they're kind of in the vicinity. Certainly in our area and in kind of village life, childhood just feels really calm and simple and fun, and I really love that for them. I think something that I've thought about a lot actually since living in France, and there's real like waves of waves that you go through with the language and assimilating and feeling French. And I think when we first moved, I just wanted to fit in completely, and just wanting to completely not feel like an outsider. Being good actually moving, when we moved out of Béziers and we moved to the countryside into a smaller, into a village. And I thought actually it's just like any communities where you've got people that have grown up their whole life in a 5th generation in the village. And then you've got people that have moved from different parts of France, and then people from outside of France. And I think in the last good few years, I've just really relaxed into living in France as an immigrant, and realising that I will always be just this mixture. And I think as long as you are respectful and trying your best, and you know, I speak good French, but I make so many mistakes still. But that's okay. Like, I'm trying my best, and like bring something positive into the mix and into the conversation. Then it can only be a really positive thing. And we've just found everybody just really kind and supportive and interested. And I think that is a lovely environment to bring children up in, because already they have got this kind of dual culture upbringing. And what I hope it gives them is to just not be fearful of different cultures and different people, to be able to see different points of view with ease, because they're already growing up with two countries in their lives, and I just think it's such an incredible thing. And so now I've sort of eased into it more. It's funny, when we first moved to France, a lot of people would ask quite regularly, how long are you staying? You're happy then? You're not coming back? They've stopped doing that now that we've lived here so long. So there's my little summary of the 10 years. As ever, there's probably things I've forgotten. I like to just have a chat rather than have anything too kind of formalised. But if you're new here, thank you so much for watching, and do take a look at some of the other videos. And if you've been here a while, thank you so much for supporting this channel. And I've got some really interesting things I'm hoping to do with it over the coming months. And I'll just see you soon. Bisous and à bientôt.